Yo, what's up guys, how is everyone doing? Hope you're all having a fantastic day once again. We have a very interesting market to be trading in right now. In fact, most people aren't even trading at all. If you just take a quick look at the volume. Let's just mute that, sorry. We have a volume of $11.7 billion traded in 24 hours. So this is now, it's been decreasing for quite a while, and that trend's still definitely sticking around. I hate all of this Windows stuff. And the actual numbers of positions open with human traders is actually quite low. If we look at the volatility today, we've been bouncing around within. Look at the OHLC on the daily. This is courtesy of the Don Alt Twitter page. You guys know I love his content. We've had a high of 6,558 and a low of 6,491. So that's about a $70 trading range. Really, we're not going anywhere in the market right now. It's been a very sideways, very boring market. I mean, I was actually struggling to retain perspective on this myself because, it's very frustrating. We are living through these 1 hour candles, these 4 hour candles, and yet all we have is the net result as a $70 move in one day. You cannot profit off that little volatility, and so definitely it's getting quite frustrating, I think, for a lot of the market. And that's why I mentioned that, is this, as title of the video, is this the most crucial time for Bitcoin? Now, one thing we have to bear in mind from a psychological standpoint, and I think you guys may be noticing now, I've almost started to move away slightly from the technicals, and I've started to focus so much more on the psychological side of things. That's because before I was really bad at market psychology, but I'm definitely getting a lot better, and you've seen that play out with results. And one of the best ways, every single one of you will understand what I mean completely by this, is if we take a look and we sort of cast our minds back to the euphoria of December 17 and January 18. What kind of emotions we had at that time. And really, I mean, we're talking about polarizations. So, we had that complete polarization of euphoria right at the top, right? I mean, this is when people didn't even expect... People didn't expect Bitcoin to stop anywhere near 20,000. I mean, the next stop was 30,000, 27,000, that kind of a thing. Complete polarization to the bullish side. And then, we look at the complete reverse opposite of that when we capitulated down initially to $6,000. And that was, absolute fear. I mean, it's the most fierce fear that I think I've ever seen in a market. And we're at another polarization now, right now, which is why I say that this is so crucial. And it is boredom this time. It is boredom in the market. I asked a question in the live chat right at the beginning, and I'm really happy to see the responses that we had. I asked, let's gather some sentiment here, in one word, summarize how you feel about the market, and I'm going to say mine when we're live. So what we had was calm before the storm, bullish, that kind of a thing. This is really, really good. The majority of the market right now is not feeling calm at all. There is a lot of frustration. There is a lot of capitulation even happening right now. Obviously, low volume capitulation. A lot of fear right now. I mean, that's why, like I mentioned, human traders do not have many positions open in the market right now. Got a couple people saying that we're going down to 4,000, Bitcoin is dead, that kind of a thing. That's the kind of sentiment we have for a lot of the space. People are afraid to accumulate. DH, I think you've hit that on the mark right there. People are afraid not only to accumulate, but also to distribute. What we have, generally people talk about two major sort of... consolidation reasons, I guess, and the first one is accumulation. So when we consolidate, there would be ideally people either accumulating here, meaning that it's going to go up, or people distributing here, meaning that when they accumulate, they're gathering more Bitcoin, right? They're buyers. And the reverse side of that is when they distribute, they're getting rid of their Bitcoin very slowly in a very controlled manner in these kinds of areas because they expect it to go down. And as you guys already know, my sentiment on that is I have no idea which way this is going. I'm leaning bullish, and I'm going to give you a few reasons for why that is, but and things like accumulation or distribution, in a situation like this, we will only know in hindsight. So you can call it accumulation, but it's only going to be accumulation if prices go up, because like I just said, accumulation is when people are buying, but at the same time people are buying, people are selling. And so the reverse side of that is if we go down, this turns out to be distribution. That's what people are going to look back at this and call it. And so that's why giving labels is useless. If you guys follow my Twitter page, I think it was just yesterday or something, I said something about how labels are useless. It was exactly the same kind of an example as this. The link to my Twitter is in the description if you guys are curious for that. Now, let's go back to this crucial time, market psychology right now. Lots of boredom. This is almost definitely going to play into a lot of volatility. Alessio Rostani, I believe, just put out a video today talking about one of his indicators was showing us that we're about to see a big move. Now, if you guys watched one of my previous videos, you will know that I also share the same sentiment because we have the biggest and cleanest opening for a breakout that we have seen probably this year within this established downtrend. That's where the Ichimoku cloud has become so thin now as resistant, it's actually widening again. So we do have this sort of one and only chance between perhaps, let's say, the 12th of October up to the 22nd of October. So this range starts in about 5 days and it goes on for only 10 days. That's a 10-day window to break out. This lines up with where a lot of people with their time analysis are starting to think that we're going to get a major move. We don't know which way that major move is going, but as I've said, I have my reasons for believing that it is going to be to the upside. Now, very importantly as well, it's also, it's key to touch on a bit of a sort of pep talk kind of thing here, where it's very dangerous now to start turning your back on the market. When we have these big decision points, right, these 20k top, 6k capitulation, extreme boredom and frustration in the market, these are where big things happen. 6,000 to 11,000 was a 2 times gain. 20,000 down to 6,000 was a 3x short opportunity, right? These things don't happen very often, and we're in exactly the same place right now. And every time we hit these areas, it is not easy to make the right decision. Because, well, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Taking some lyrics straight out of G-Eazy's song there. If it was easy, everyone would do it, right? And so that's why, this time we're very aware of... This time we're very aware of it, and I want to shine even more light on that, just to make sure that you guys watching this also have the chance to play this really well. Now, how are you going to play this? Obviously, it's not easy because we don't know which way this is going to go up or down. But I have shared my full sort of trading strategy for this in VIP. I've actually updated it today because of some advancements we've had in the market, some developments rather. So if you guys are interested in VIP, go ahead and hit me up. There's a link in the description. Join the free Telegram channel there. It's the first link in the description. Click on my name at the bottom of any posts in that Telegram channel and send me a message. This is one of the messages I got today. Someone was on a flight and he was playing our Ripple signal. Go over to the Ripple and see what's up with that. We played a pretty nice short on Ripple, down from about 7,700 Satoshis over here to roughly where we are right now. That was a 60% profit. This guy landed and saw profits on arrival. Pretty dope stuff. And then someone else mentioning that he made his fees back with Ripple on the same day that he paid. Pretty cool stuff there. So if you are interested, go ahead and hit me up for my full game plan on how to play these things. Of course, I am putting out a lot more signals in the free channel as well, so you can get a taste of what's going on over there as well. Now, if we do look at other altcoins, like I mentioned in the Telegram channel, this is actually something I'm going to be covering in this stream. Ripple is one of the big ones I want to touch on today. This is where I'm seeing a good amount of opportunity. If we do break out on Bitcoin, the deal is alts are most likely going to follow pretty nicely with that. If Bitcoin is about to start a nice leg up, altcoins are going to follow most likely. You just look at CoinMarketCap for a quick glance of what's going on. Bitcoin down 0.05%. I mean, it summarizes the entire market, what I've been saying for the past, 10 minutes now. Bitcoin being down by, hardly anything, basically meaning that it's just going sideways. And then, of course, the rest of the market just, the maximum swing we're seeing is a 3% within the top 30. And maybe we're going to find one, okay, actually we're not even seeing, okay, there's one, Noah coin, with 16% profit today. But I mean, we're not seeing any big swings today in the market at all. But we are seeing a lot of opportunity. So that sort of magic word I mentioned that I'm going to share in stream, that magic word for me is opportunity, because this time we are overtly aware of what's going on, and we're set up to play it beautifully. And that's why today I do want to start focusing on the altcoins. So actually, let's start with Ripple today. We have a little bit to talk about with Tron as well. But Ripple, down to the 618 retracement here, we've got a pretty nice setup. Now, is this going to go up? That's the $1 million question. It looks pretty nice. Now, of course, it is going to follow Bitcoin. The deal is here, and what I especially want to highlight with Ripple right now, is that in a typical market, this is a really good setup to trade. This is a very nice long, we've got daily EMA support here as well. I believe I shared this in gold. If not, yeah, it's definitely been in VIP. So if I go ahead and show you the EMA ribbon, it's got great EMA support on the daily. It's even got the 200 EMA here. So that's just another sort of gentle tap to make it go to make it go higher. But as you can always say, I suppose, we're not in a typical market condition right now. Especially because, like I mentioned, we're at one of these polarizations now. You get the euphoria, the complete fear, and the absolute boredom over here. We're in that boredom stage right now, and that just means that it's not a safe time to be trading anything. Now we add to that the salt on the wound, I guess, is that we are about to close on the weekly. So when you close on the weekly, it brings in a little bit more volatility, and so trading anything at all, the risk is exacerbated even further, and then so it gets a little bit more risky with that as well. Ripple, though, conventional terms, it's a great trade, but with so much uncertainty right now, like I mentioned, I don't know if we're going to go up or down. I mean, like I say, I'm leaning 51% bullish, but that's such a weak confirmation of me thinking it's going to go up that, you may as well not even count it. And, with such polarized sentiment as well, which way we're going to break, are we even going to break? As a third question to be posing, sort of outside of the box, are you really, are you willing to take on that risk for Ripple? That is for you to decide. We have made some posts on that. Of course, like I mentioned, we made a 60% profit in VIP shorting it, and we are ready if the time calls to also long this as well. Now I want to take a quick look at Tron as well. This is something I've been watching very closely for a fair while now. I'm seeing a lot of opportunity on this one. You are also going to now see a second issue with all of these alt signals, and I'll wait for you to see if you can figure it out, but I think it's quite obvious. What we have on Tron right now is a very nice shorting setup based off probability. Is it going to break up this time? Chances are it can. Again, it's going to rely on what Bitcoin is going to do. If Bitcoin is going to go up, Tron is going to have that adrenaline to push past this VPVR resistance. As you can see, this is a pretty big resistance. It's the biggest one it has had for a very long time to reach. This level, you can see Tron has bounced off once, I'm not even going to count this, it's too many times, but it's bounced off a lot of times over here, and it's also used it as support, as resistance over here, and right now. Is it resistance once again? That's the sort of big question here as well. Now, like I said, Ripple looks like it's ready to go up. Tron looks like it's ready to go down. Bitcoin looks like it still can't make up its mind. And so we've got three hugely conflicting signals. And of course, you don't trade Tron based off what Ripple is going to do. But nonetheless, you want to find some sort of consensus. You want to find some agreement across all of these coins. Because if not, I mean, it's like going long on Bitcoin and going short on Ethereum. And that kind of thing is, it can work sometimes, but it's a very strange thing to be doing. I mean, for another example, if you're trading stocks in the tech industry, it's like going long on Apple and then short on Google. I mean, they're both nearly the same thing, and I'm saying long with perhaps 2x knowledge, 2x leverage rather. Sorry, I was reading Chevon's comment there. Great to see you in the chat, by the way, Chevon. You get, if you're trading on very low leverage, and you're doing opposing trading ideas on very similar stocks in the same industry, it just doesn't really make sense. And that's the kind of issue I mentioned that you guys might be able to pick up on. It's that Tron's giving us a sell signal, Ripple giving us a long, and Bitcoin, for me personally, do make up your own mind, Bitcoin giving me a very weak long signal as well. And so this is... it's a very strange time to be trading right now. With that, I think I've covered most of what I wanted to, so I'm ready to go through your questions. I haven't seen many in the comments. Dakota Diesel, how much for VIP? I'll send you that information in a message. So like I said, if you want to join, click on the first link in the description, and then click on my name @4flies at the bottom of any post in Crypto Mafia Gold, and send me a message from there. I mean, Paul, short Apple was just sort of an on-the-spot example. Spanish chicken, I don't report anyone else's. I don't even follow the news. So I don't think that's possible. Bitcoin will go up, alts will go short. I mean, the Elder Scrolls King, that's definitely possible. We have seen it happen in the past. But alts have in recent weeks and months shown that if Bitcoin is going up, alts will not be left behind. I think we're at that time now where people are ready to put their money back into alts. And why is that happening? Because Bitcoin is so boring. So people want a little bit more action. It's scary. It's one of those things where you say the Q word. You know, police officers often say, "Never say it's quiet today," because if you say it's quiet, then suddenly you get a spike in crime or whatever, like placebo, or jinxing it, I guess, to be less academic about it. And we're in a very similar sort of situation right now. Yeah, let's take a look at Ethereum. Sorry, I forgot to cover that. Where is the Coinbase chart? Yeah, I mean, well, the main reason I haven't covered Ethereum today is it's doing basically the same thing as Bitcoin. There is really not much to read up on this. If anything, to me, Ethereum looks a lot more bearish than everything else, because it's still, it's not giving any indication that this trend being downwards has reversed. I mean, like I said, there was a bit of a double bottom, but that's kind of been invalidated now. Yeah, I mean, it still looks like it very easily could continue on downwards. If Bitcoin is going to break down, Ethereum is going to be the most bloody coin there is, I think. I think it's going to drop really hard. And there's going to be a pretty nice shorting opportunity, but of course it will be to me, it'll be quite upsetting seeing it go and stay below $200. I wouldn't really like to see that. But yeah, I mean, it will depend on what Bitcoin is doing, of course. All of it will. But I'm seeing Ethereum struggle a little bit, definitely. If I had a gun to my head and had to choose one altcoin to sit on for the next 5 years, which one would it be? You'll see, it would be Ethereum, probably. Even though I just said Ethereum looks pretty bad, I hardly even class Ethereum as an altcoin. Maybe Litecoin as well. Yeah, Litecoin or Ethereum. I would not pick anything else. Everything else is speculation. Yeah, maybe Tether. I might choose Tether. That's always a safe pick. But yeah, literally nothing else. Rastani said a big... Oh, I've missed that comment now. Where is it? Oh, that's so annoying. Sorry. Wait, I think I've got it. Yeah, Rastani said a big move is coming with Bitcoin on an indicator he used it. Yeah, Irish Paddy, that's something I mentioned near the beginning of this stream, I think. So is the market's just going to go sideways for 6 months? Cliff Smith, no, I don't think it's going to go sideways. Like I've been saying this stream, I think we're in for a lot of volatility. That's why I mentioned I think this is quite a crucial time for Bitcoin. I don't think it's going sideways for 6 months. My sentiment before, I think as Irish Paddy picked up on, you were right about the sideways action you said a good few days ago. Yeah, my sentiment before was that we were going to go sideways for a very long time, and Bitcoin has done exactly that. I mean, I know it's, when I said that, I got a lot of hate, but we throw those things to the side. It doesn't really matter. It's been going very sideways for the most part, trading within a 12% range, only breaking above for how many days? It only broke out at this 12% range for a period of 10 days. So as much as I don't like saying it, as much as you guys don't like hearing it, yeah, we did end up going sideways for a very long time. And in the same vein, I think we might be asking for volatility now, but when it comes, we're not going to be happy with it, because it's going to be very overwhelming. What's happened now is very used to these kinds of price ranges, right? We've seen, we're at 6,533. We have seen this, $10 price range for a very long time now, to the point where even if we do go up, seeing new numbers is going to be quite sort of unsettling. And yeah, the same applies for if we go down. In fact, it's a lot worse if we go down. We're too sensitive to this trading range now that it's going to be really painful, whichever way we go. Of course, it's going to be painful if we go down. Fairly euphoric if we go up, I think. But we can only really know when it happens. So yeah, I don't think we're going sideways. Tron is pushing 400. I didn't even look at Tron in the short term. Let's take a look at Tron right now. Yeah, I mean, no, Tron's just been going sideways like this for a little bit earlier today. I was watching it peak, and yeah, I did want to put in a short. I was actually going to make this a VIP signal, but I decided the risk is a little bit too high. It's got a very similar setup to when it topped out before. So you're seeing the volume peak. You wouldn't really expect this, but you see the volume peak, and then on low volume it starts declining quite a lot. Same thing happened when it peaked last time. Volume went really high, and then on basically no volume, it just carried on going lower. We've got exactly the same setup right now. This time we are continuing to fight higher, and that's why I mentioned, you know, there is a chance that this time it's not going to act as resistance. That also fits in with the theory that the more times you test the level, the more likely you are to break it. This level is not going to be easy to break, in my opinion. Tron has tested it way too many times, and so it is going to take more than 1, 2, 3, 4 tests to break it, maybe. But I still don't like the risk to reward on this. The reward would be pretty good, but I'm not too happy with the risk. You know, if you want to use a tight stop loss and make this trade, for example, I guess that could work out nicely, but it's something that, until I see something to change my mind, I'm willing to sit out on this trade. Let's take a look at what else we've got going on here. Spanish chicken, yes. I mean, like I said, when I take ideas from someone else like Donald or Alessio, I give them credit where it's due. But if I'm not giving credit to something, it's because it's my own stuff. ETN has been interesting today. I haven't been watching it. I know a lot of people talking about it, though. Could we go to 5K and shoot straight up immediately, or you think Bitcoin will stay down for a while in this case? So Sagi, if that's how you say it, that's something I've thought of, and I'm very glad you asked that question. It's a very good question. There is this hope that I think some of us have, and it is hope. It's exactly that, so it's quite unhealthy. But it's that Bitcoin might go down to about $5,000, around about here, and then quickly bounce up. It sounds good when you think of it that way, and it sounds quite possible. But if you think of it the other way, in that Bitcoin has actually dropped down to levels like 5,700 before, and sentiment has really gone very bad, to the point where if it were to drop to $5,000 again, or rather, if it were to drop to $5,000 at all, it would have to be really bad. So bad to the point where it can't recover immediately. And when you think of it that way, to me, and that is how it's going to be, right? If it's going down to $5,000, it's not going down to $5,000 with sunshine and roses. It's going down in a very gloomy atmosphere. And it's going to be very hard to pick it up from that kind of a situation. So as much as I wish it would, I don't think it will. Is there a tether situation eventually? Nick, I mean, there always is. I don't pay attention to it anymore. What else have we got? Ripple in a descending triangle? Let's check that out. If you mean this, that's not a descending triangle. Yeah, that's not a descending triangle. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Am I a fan of OCN? Steven, OCN has made me a lot of profits. So I do like OCN, but I am not an alt trader, and I hope to never be an alt trader again. If we're talking about regular buying and selling. If it's leverage alt trading, sign me up. But yeah, I'm not too keen on OCN, even though I've made a lot of money from it. And I think they're pretty good. They have an amazing marketing team, but it's just not for me. I keep on missing these comments when I start to read them, because more things update. Is the next bull run will bring altcoins to all-time highs once again? Alte, good question. A lot of altcoins I think will start to hit all-time highs again, but only the good ones, only the ones that have proven themselves, and I mean really proven themselves. Coins like EOS, Stellar, Cardano, Tron, these are good coins, kind of. It hurts me to say that. They're top 15, right? I mean, they didn't just get there by being, well, they did, but they didn't just get there by being shit coins. But it's going to take seriously proven coins to survive the bear market and then reach all-time highs in the next bull market. And that is, I think, going to be it's such a bad probability to be playing that I don't even think it's worth trying to play that probability. That's why I'm always looking to, now what I'm always looking to do is trade on leverage, that kind of a thing. Simeon, that's why I kind of laughed and said that it's that they got there by being shitcoins. Perhaps we need to crash in order to get this bearish sentiment out the window. Noobless, yeah, I mean, I believe the common way to put it is that bear markets end when sellers have been exhausted. And so, yeah, what we need is sellers to exhaust themselves. Sellers have not been exhausted right now, I don't think. I genuinely do not think they've been exhausted yet. Many people here, and of course many more outside of this, will capitulate if we go down to levels like $5,000. And that means sellers have not been exhausted. And when we look at it like that, that's why I mentioned, even though I am leaning very, very slightly bullish instead of being neutral, I don't think that's going to result in us going very high. Like I said, I think that could mean we top out in the mid 7,000s, could mean we top out at 8,000, 11,600 as being the absolute top, and then we will continue on much lower. That's how I think it's going to go. Because sellers haven't been exhausted, and our market trend is downwards. We are in a bear market. Alright, I mean, Bitcoin's down like 60-70%. It's in a bear market. There's no confusing that. Alright, let's see what's up with this. I saw one question I wanted to get to. I've now missed it, though. It was a pretty good question as well. I hope I can find it. Technical analysis is your best friend. The news is all bullshit. Completely agree, man. Yeah, I mean, there are times when TA doesn't work, but more often than not, it does work. And, you know, it only needs to work X amount of times for you to make your money. So it doesn't need to work 100% of the time. The news, yeah, it's all bullshit, man. Fuck the news, seriously. I mean, it's a waste of time. Can I look at Litecoin? I don't like analyzing Litecoin, mate. I do it occasionally, but Litecoin has a mind of its own. I always make myself look like an idiot when I analyze Litecoin. Right now, yeah, it looks like it's at a key level low. But yeah, if the market is still going down, then yeah, Litecoin's looking at a single-digit bottom, I think, most likely. Yeah. Will Bitcoin dominance decrease if... Oh, I missed that as well. I think he was asking if we get a bull market. Good question. That's also, I think, about a 50-50 split. That's quite hard to call. Bitcoin dominance is quite high right now. Like I said, I expected it to go to 60%, and I still almost do expect it to go to 60%. If we're going down, if we're going down, rather, before we start a bull market, then yes, 100% nearly, non-financial advice, Bitcoin dominance will continue to rise. But if we do start a bull market now, it's closer to a 50-50. I still don't think it's worth being in alts, but like I said, I think a lot of people are ready to take on that risk to enter alts because Bitcoin has been so boring. Yeah, what about the news 9 bull? So the news is really good. The news is really good market-wide, but one thing that Tone Vase said when I went to his conference, and rather seminar, and this really stuck out to me, is that even things that have hit bear markets, very prolonged bear markets, things like Microsoft, if we look at that, the dot-com bubble around 2000, 2001, Microsoft then reached a new all-time high. In fact, let's pull up the chart, because I know I'm going to be wrong about this, but I believe it was in sort of the early 2010s, but I am going to pull up the chart so we can look at that. And the point here is... well, actually, let's find the numbers first before I talk. I've actually forgotten my point now. But yeah, the top $59. When did it reach $59 again? 2016. So that is, you know, a 16-year bear market. And yeah, I've just remembered the point now. The point is that even those stock prices took, you know, 16 years to recover. And that's a very long part of Microsoft's sort of lifetime. It took a very long time to recover, but between its previous bubble and when it reached a new all-time high, Microsoft was still developing and still improving. This is when we got Windows 7. You guys remember Windows 7? It's the king of operating systems. It still is today, in my opinion. The best PC operating system ever. We've had Windows 8, bit shit, but, you know, it's still innovation. 10. We've had a lot of innovations from Microsoft in this time. Microsoft has no doubt become a better company from when it hit that dot-com bubble compared to when it reached its new all-time high in 2016. And yet, despite that, the prices didn't go up again. And what was your question? I forgot. Oh yeah, the news. That's why I don't think news is so important with Bitcoin, because yeah, it's going to get stronger. It has been getting stronger in 2018, even though prices have been going down. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be reflected in price. Bullish news will only affect prices in a bullish way in a bull market. That's like that should be framed on a wall. I mean, that's a really good quote. Hope people quote me on that. Quote me on that rather later on. But yeah, fuck Windows 8 from Cisco. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, bullish news will only, result in prices going up in a bull market. You ask yourself why BACT hasn't resulted in a $1,000 move up by now, and it's because, it doesn't matter in a bear market. It doesn't matter what news you get. It is, it's a bear market. And, yeah, we go back to the point of where I always say that, news is BS. Phil T made 111% on the Ripple signal. Full Flies as a market wizard. Thank you very much, Phil T. Very glad. Yeah, I mean, I think, was it your message I showed? It might have been in the screenshot. Yeah, it's been pretty dope. Yeah, I mean, I feel very honored to be called a market wizard. As you guys know, that's one of the big books I'm reading through right now, and yeah, I mean, wow, being compared with actual market wizards is pretty cool. Thank you, Phil T. I put Windows 7 on all my computers. I hate all the newer Windows. Saints, I mean, I would have done the same. I really wanted to, actually, just a couple of days ago. But, when you want to play games like the new Red Dead, it's not even coming on PC anyway, but, you want to play the newer games, you kind of need the new operating system, so it really hurts. But yeah, of course, as we all know, Windows 7 was the peak of OSs. Is it Moon Day tomorrow? I have no idea, Jam. What will be what will trigger the bull run? US stock market crash, Turkey crisis. Nothing's gonna trigger a bull run, like what you mentioned, Alte. Those are all negative things. I don't see why they would trigger a bull run. Bull runs happen when there's confidence, when there's excitement. A stock market crash, Turkey crash, whatever, that's not gonna bring excitement. As much as we would like to think that Bitcoin is a hedge, and the US stock market will fall, so institutions will come into Bitcoin as a hedge. Write it down right now. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen at all. Bull markets start when there's confidence. Bull markets start when, when there's a lot of euphoria, when there's happiness. Not when there is uncertainty, not when there's fear, not when there's doubt. Johnny, yeah, let's smash up those likes, guys. Get those likes pumped up a little bit. Of course, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do that. Join the free Telegram channel with the link in the description. Noobless, I don't analyze the monthly chart on Bitcoin at all. I occasionally look at monthly analysis from other analysts that I respect, but I mean, the monthly chart is way too long term. Bitcoin is, in my opinion, a little bit too volatile to be looking at a chart like that. We had a big test on 3rd October. Ethereum breaks support, Bitcoin don't follow and breaks up. This is why we are some bullish. Yeah, good point, Galaxy. Though I do think that even though these small breakouts have happened, they're not very significant in this kind of a market. It's the same thing as the news. I mean, we had a breakout, but still nothing really followed from it. So, yeah, that's still my sentiment. Jam, the market now is like 1,000 samurais all waiting for the first draw. I mean, definitely could be. With a very optimistic view, it could be. But I think it's a lot more like samurais ready to kill themselves, right? Seppuku, that kind of thing, if I said that right. It's not, ready for battle. It's ready for for giving up, ready for capitulation, if anything. Yeah, I mean, I don't see much strength here. That's why I said, it is going to take a sort of, not a black swan event, but something quite unusual to make us go up. But I am still, like I always say, leaning a little bit more bullish. I'll let you guys know, of course, if I change my view on that. Yeah, let's see how long this has been going on for. It's been about a 30-minute stream. I'm going to look to wrap this up real soon and take a couple final questions, and then start going off for a bit. can't understand some of the comments here. Out of the bear market if we break 7.4k. Jayon, I don't think so. I think we're only out of the bear market when 11,600 is crossed. If we're being very generous, then when 8,200 is crossed. But apart from that, yeah, it's going to take a lot to be out of this bear market. I think tomorrow we'll see some actions. Alright, you think tomorrow they'll see some... Oh no, me. See some action with stock trades coming back to work. Raphael? No, not necessarily. Yes, the weekly close will bring a little bit of volatility, stop hunting, that kind of thing, but I don't think, I don't think there's going to be anything crazy just because it's a Monday tomorrow. There never really is, if I'm not mistaken. Bull trap at 7,200, Harry Norm, definitely quite possible. Yeah, we can't rule that out. Yeah, with that though, I am going to be wrapping this up now. I really hope you have enjoyed it. You've taken away something useful. Like I said, VIP has my full game plan on how to play this entire range and also making some really nice profits on alts. We've had 60% on Ripple. If you guys missed these screenshots, I mean, absolutely great. This was filthy. I've remembered properly. Coming off from a flight and seeing a pretty nice profit. So, like I mentioned, this is one of the best feelings ever. I've been traveling a lot. And having profits while you do that, nothing really compares to that. It's pretty cool. And one of our other members who made back the fee from paying us in the first day that he paid. So pretty cool. We need to get some sort of a medal of honor for those kinds of people. If you guys are interested in VIP, there's a link in the description, the first one in the description. Go ahead and click on @4flies at the bottom of any post. In the Telegram channel, when you click on that link, and send me a message. Very simple, very quickly. It's the only way to join. A lot of impersonators, be aware of those. But yeah, with that, I am going to be heading off. Good live stream, thumbs up. Thank you very much, Burge. And yeah, with that, I'm off. Peace.